it does feel like Aaron. My percentage is like 49-51. Like I do think he's thinking about staying. Like some of the things he was saying about Gutekunst, like I give Gutekunst a lot of credit because I didn't think it would be possible for him to do this, just because you're not really taught how to do this in scout. Like as a scout, it would just be on an individual, like how good you are with people.
Right.
They've done a hell of a job of like making him like them again, and maybe it was underrated how angry he really was, but he played it up last year like he was pissed off, and he's gone out of his way to be like, we're in a good place now. Why? So you're in a good place. You play for the Packers. You win 13 games a year. You're going to go to Denver? Like they haven't won anything in forever just because our guy from UC Davis, also the defensive coordinator he hired, UC Davis guy too, someone told me, from his name's like Evero or something from the Rams. So they got a UC Davis staff in Denver.
Wow. Dan Hawkins going to join the squad?
He's too busy leading the Ags to the playoffs every year.
Maybe Aaron was never that mad at the Packers so much as it was that he was mad at his own lack of freedom. Maybe it was never about Gutekunst so much as it was about, hey, I want to be able to control where I go and what I do. I don't know if the interview we had with McAfee was long. One of the things he said when he was going through like how valuable players' wives are was, he's like, sometimes they send you to Green Bay. He kind of made this comment, like sometimes you just end up where they send you and you don't really get to decide where you're playing. And it makes me wonder if it was more internal stuff for Aaron than it was external stuff for him that made him unhappy.
Well, one of my biggest issues with Phil Mickelson talking all this shit about the PGA Tour, because I think he looks at himself like he's Aaron Rodgers or like he's Steph Curry. In those sports, like the main three professional sports, I don't get to control where I live. Maybe once as a free agent, but for the most part, like especially in basketball and football, because they can always offer me so much money before I'm a free agent. I usually sign these contract extensions, and you just end up playing for 15 years in Green Bay or 12 years for the Dallas Mavericks. And you have to play, like in golf, you get to play whenever and wherever you want. Or in football, like Aaron has had to live in Green Bay for the last 15 years. And every single Sunday, he has to play a football game. And now he's been very lucky. They've been really good. But, I would say most people from California, the first place they would choose to live would not be Green Bay, Wisconsin. Now, you could argue, like, it's a pretty special brand to play for. It's got to feel pretty, like, when they have some of their wins at Lambeau at night, you're like, that's pretty sweet. There are, but, the Sundays, it's like, well, you go on a family vacation to Disneyland, it's all fun. Well, most of your life at home is not your vacation, right? It's 11 months and 20 days a year of people screaming at each other. Where's dinner? Like it's intense. Most of Aaron Rodgers' days are Monday through Saturday sitting in this community. It's very, very small. So maybe that was driving him nuts because winning. Now they haven't won in the playoffs, but they have consistently won since he's been there. Won pretty big. Like, I mean, they have had so many teams, 12 plus wins. It doesn't get. Now, I'd say the difference is, it feels like they have less to show than, Peyton fought that a little bit, but when you look back on Peyton's career, he went to 4 Super Bowls. He went to 2 in Denver, he went to 2 in Indianapolis. Like, when's the last time Rodgers really got close to a Super Bowl? I guess it was the Tampa game, but this year he didn't even make it to the conference championship game.
No. And not only didn't make it, like it was bad. Their playoff game was bad.
Scored 10 points.
I mean, they've won double-digit games. I think we've talked about this before, but under Aaron, they went 6-10 his first year. They've only had 3 years since 2008 where they didn't win at least 10 games. And they've won 13 games in 3 straight years. That's pretty incredible.
He's gone to 5 conference championship games.
Yeah, and he's lost, 3 straight?
Yeah, he's lost a lot of playoff games. He's lost 11, I think.
I mean, how good did he feel after the cleanse, though? He had to feel like he was walking on clouds. You think after a good bowel movement, you feel good? I mean, think about this guy. After 12 days of the, what was it called?
13-day cleanse.
Panchakarma.
Here's what
Multiple enemas.
Once I saw the breakdown, to me, the enemas by no means hold a candle to like the intense vomiting that's created by something. If you complete that, I thought some of the things he's saying, he's just clearly a little out there for me. And I'm all for, there's some things that I believe in that people, whatever, might think's a little kooky or weird. But if you can complete that, I mean, honestly, complete that for 13 days. Like, when I read that, food's not part of that, right?
Just the ghee butter.
So you complete that, that's an incredible accomplishment. Don't you agree?
It is an incredible accomplishment. Yeah. It is. I mean, the Buddhists are mentally strong, a strong bunch.
I guess the butter would add some fat, so it would fill you up a little bit.
Protein. I don't know what is the purpose of the butter.
When people go on the fasting, they put butter in their coffee. I think it just fills you up a little bit.
Gotcha. The ghee butter, Ghee.
I don't even know what that is, but.
Oh my God, man!
What are you even pooping after a while?
Are you? You're not. They're just cleaning you out with tubes. I don't know. This is not my area of expertise, but holy shit, man! How about when he comes on McAfee with 150,000 people watching? It's like, just quick announcement: we're not breaking any news here today. McAfee's like, no.
You think Pat knew?
I don't know.
Because one part I watched bits and pieces of it. They were texting a couple days before.
I know.
Maybe they were texting like, "Hey, will you come on the show?" I didn't know he was an off season. He does off season hits
for an hour. I know when I reread his gratitude post before the interview started, my thought was like, he's not about to announce anything.
I didn't think that either.
He's going to let this thing.
Yeah.
Let this thing simmer. And it might be sometimes with these situations, we always assume everyone's playing everybody. He might not really know exactly how it's going to play out.
I believe him on that. And I'm starting to
Part of it's Devontae.
He's thinking about staying. What Gutekunst say today that like we ideally don't want to franchise tag him, but I do think Devontae is pretty complicated because you're gonna set a new market.
But how do you let the third time?
Well, you don't. I mean, that's why you have the franchise tag.
What was the story about his dinner with the Buddhists? What was that story? I caught like the second half of it.
Yeah, that he remember last year when things were getting weird, and the story had come out that he was mad at Gutekunst. So I think that LaFleur, Nathaniel Hackett, and maybe a couple other dudes said, "Aaron, we're gonna come see you. We want to spend some time with you, and let's figure some things out." And he says, "Well, you guys can come on Thursday or Friday or whatever, but I'm eating dinner with my two Buddhist friends, and under no circumstances will I cancel this dinner. So you guys are welcome to come over. I'll be home whenever, but just fucking come. You can come, but
But you're waiting for me. You're not coming to dinner.
You're not allowed with the Buddhists." And so he said they just started. They were just. I think they got like a 18-pack, and the five of them started drinking like in the driveway. And he had a security guard, I guess, that called him at dinner like. I'm not quite sure what's going on. These guys claim they know you, and then I guess Aaron's like, "Yeah, they're good." But when he got there, they were all drinking beers.
You don't let them in the house, guys. You can just help yourself to the backyard.
I think he has a place on Malibu. Have you ever driven on the PCH when you go right by the water? It's pretty beautiful.
Yeah,
that's where he claimed they
go enjoy the view. Right. Go enjoy the view, fellas.
Yeah, so they might have just Hackett and LaFleur just slamming a couple Miller Lights. They're just watching some IPAs.
I'm not interested in yucking anybody's yum. Like if they're really in the mental headspace that he's in with just gratitude and peace, then I'm not here to. I have no interest in fucking that up for anybody. But I don't know how much Instagram posting the Buddhists do. I think again I'm not Buddhist, but I don't see a lot of the Buddhists posting about it so much as they are just living it. And it doesn't mean that he wanted to share that publicly. So like I said, I'm not. I think it's. I will take it at face value. I do think he knows, though, what he creates when he does stuff like that and enjoys it. And honestly, I might, if I were in his shoes, I'd probably enjoy it too. Like, I'm not even saying there's anything wrong with that. But it does create a whole other world that can make things challenging, for his team, for his teammates, for the whole thing. It's good for Pat.
I think he's gotten to the point where, for me personally, he's a little exhausting. And like you said, if you want to do 13-day cleanse, you want to hang out with Buddhists, like do you. Like we all can do our own things, even though, finding yourself, part of that is like, I think you have to find yourself a little bit more when you don't have family or you're not married at his age. I mean, think about that. Doesn't talk to his parents and is basically single.
His brother.
He's 38 years old. So he doesn't talk to anybody close to him. He doesn't have any person truly. He dates on and off and he always breaks up. I thought he just broke up with her, but then he had a picture of them together. It's kind of weird. Threw me off.
Yeah. I do think they called off the engagement. I think. But
What's her name?
Shailene Woodley.
Shailene Woodley.
Yeah.
Saw some pictures where I didn't think she looked that good, but then the one she took with Aaron, I was like, she looks pretty cute with her. She's got to be a little younger than him.
Yeah. She is.
Just one thing with Aaron, before we go to Indeed.com/ham, he looks old for being like a little older than us. I mean, he is not a young looking guy. You see his you talk about, they say Botox, the wrinkles. He's just got these fucking wrinkles. Doesn't he look like he's 45 years old?
Yeah, I think, he has bags under his eyes, which just might be genetic, I don't know.
Doesn't he look old for his age? In this day and age when he's working out and very healthy guy?
Yeah.
Because not like he's
like
an unhealthy
Romo,
guy.
who looks younger.
I just say you just look at most quarterbacks. Besides like Roethlisberger, but you go, what does Roethlisberger do? He eats pizza and drinks beer. He
looks like a 70s quarterback, probably more, right?
100%. He just looks he looks like he belongs in the 60s or 70s.